This episode is brought to you by Ken's Kitchen. Ken's Kitchen offers and caters for amazing continental and southern African food with fresh ingredients that are made to order. The menu has been carefully designed with a twist to delight all nationalities with a variety of foods. Make sure you get in contact today by calling
07908842234.
This is either a collection or delivery service only, free delivery within 3 miles of the Finchley area. Make sure you go check that out. Yo, it's KnuxNKE and you're currently locked into KnuxNKE TV. Couple heavy hitters this week. We'll be talking about Nick Canon and him getting sacked from Viacom in the States and why that happened. We'll also be talking about the mandatory mask. But first, we're gonna start off with this. Hancock calls for urgent review into coronavirus death data in England. Health Secretary Matt Hancock has called for an urgent review into how coronavirus deaths have been recorded in England. It follows confirmation from Public Health England that reported deaths may have included people who tested positive months before they died. Professor Carl Hennigan from University of Oxford, who spotted the issue with the data, told the BBC there was huge variation in the numbers of daily deaths reported in England by PHE. He further then goes on to say the reason that anyone who has tested positive for coronavirus but then died at a later date of another cause will still be included in PHE's COVID death figures. Mad. By this PHE definition, no one with COVID in England is allowed to ever recover from this illness, Professor Hennigan says. We need correct and accurate statistics so we can really understand the trend, otherwise it's very difficult to know what's going on. I don't know what you guys are saying, but to me that tells me that's them explaining. They're trying to explain the fact that they were scaring people with bare news reports day in, day out. 100 people have died today, 200 people have died today. They're saying they didn't even know how to count it. They're saying that you could have had the disease, the virus, yeah, recovered, got into a car accident, died, and they would have still put you on there. Insane. Sounds like fraud to me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what it sounds like to you. All these people that's like, no, we must adhere to the virus and the rules, and you don't follow the rules, fam. Are you read, right? They're putting out the truth right now because it was all fraud, blood. You get me? Like, it's not as bad as they say it was. The hospitals were almost empty, you get me? Nurses were doing conga dances on TikTok and that. It was a madness, yeah? Pure circus. So now that's mad. If this comes out, yeah, do you know how many businesses would have gone under? Do you know how many people would have lost their jobs, lost their housing, lost this and lost their business, lost everything, fam? You could have lost everything just because of that. And these men are basically saying, yeah, man, well, basically, we didn't even know how he was counting it, you get me? So if you had corona a couple years ago and you died of corona, you get me? So you can't recover from it. That's what they're saying. You can't recover from it, which is insane. They've told you from the beginning they don't know what they're doing, but everyone's still following them because they think that they know what they're doing. I don't know, it's mad, it's peak. From July 24th, everybody in the UK, or England at least, will have to wear masks when they go shopping. Insane. Everybody masked up. Let's go back to the BBC for what they had to say. Wearing a face covering in shopping and supermarkets in England is to become mandatory from July 24th. Those who fail to comply with the new rules will face a fine. Of course they've got to give you a fine of up to £100. Mad. The government has announced. Health Secretary Matt Hancock again, yeah, Mr. I don't know what I'm doing, said it would give people more confidence to shop safely and enhance protections for those who work in shops. So, all right, cool. Let me get this right. You don't know how to record the deaths of COVID-19, which means you don't have the real statistics. So now you've made people shook to go shopping. So yeah, let's make sure everyone has a mask to give that kind of dictatorship feel. Like you don't even have the right to show your face, mate. You can't even show your face. According to Matt Hancock again, Jesus, the death rate of sales and retail assistants, 75% higher amongst men and 60% higher amongst women than in the general population. He's making this stuff up. He added, there is no evidence that face coverings increase confidence in people to shop. This is a very confusing article. The new rule will not apply to retail staff. So the retail staff don't have to wear masks, but the customers, jeez! The latest rules by shops will be enforced by the police, with anyone disregarding them at risk of a fine of up to £100. Give me a ton, mate. This will be reduced to £50. Thank you, guys. Oh, you're so thoughtful. This will be reduced to £50 if the fine is paid within 14 days. A shop can refuse them entry and then call the police if they refuse to comply, Matt Hancock said. However, Martin Hewitt, chair of the National Police Chiefs Council, said police should be involved only as a last resort. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now living and have always been living in a blockbuster Hollywood movie. And you're gonna have to wear masks until, I don't know, end of the year, maybe forever. We'll never know. But listen, well, only time will tell, innit? But yeah, Yeah, crazy. So get used to that. Obviously, leave down below. Let me know what you think about having to wear masks, mandatory, breaking the law, and fines. Let me know down below what you think about that. Do you think we should be forced to wear masks in shops? If so, why? If not, why? Madness. Stateside racial news, Nick Canon, famous for his show Wildin' Out, was fired by Viacom bosses when he decided to step out of line and do a podcast with a certain Professor Griff, who's already been labeled anti-Semitic, yeah? Basically what happened was, he's been doing this Canon's class for a minute now. He's had people like Tariq Nasheed on there. He's had different people that are sort of controversial in, let's just say, mainstream media, innit? And they go on there and they talk about their truth. It's like a kind of barbershop. It's a podcast, innit? It's just natural podcast stuff, innit? Well, let's just say Nick Canon said this.
So let's go to what it really is then. When we talk about the power of melanated people, when we talk about who we really are as guys and understanding that our melanin is so powerful and it connects us in a way that the reason why they fear black, the reason why they fear is because the lack that they have of it. So then when you see what, Dr. Francis C. Welsing talked about is that fear in that
just genetic annihilation,
that deficiency of when you have a person that has the lack of pigment, the lack of melanin, that they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got the power, they have the lack of compassion. That melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul. That we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough torrential environments, so they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages.
They didn't like that. He's talking too much truth, saying way too much. And instead of them saying, you know what, we're just gonna prove you wrong, we're gonna debunk you with facts and figures, he fired him. Says everything, you know what I mean? He obviously tried to get Wildin' Out back. Then he put out a full apology, you get me, because you need the money, you get me? Like, you get me? They're gonna ruin you, they're gonna blackball you, innit? So, yeah. So he apologized, and will he get his job back? We'll never know. Will they blackball him out of the planet? We'll never know. But if you do get a chance to see the full interview, I think it's been taken down on YouTube, but there must be bootlegs up there anyway, yeah? Make sure you watch that, man, because there's a lot of things that are being said in there that are not said by your average, everyday black person, innit? Let's just keep it at that, innit? I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Make sure you leave a comment, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. Make sure you share it as well. Share it to more people, share it to your people. You can see the show's getting better, production quality is getting better week on week. KnuxNKE TV.